Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. Okay, and I'm fighting a cold at the moment, but I wanted to do this video. And this is basically a follow-up video to MIDI guitar options, I guess, is what we really looked at. We looked at 9 pedals from electro-harmonics, pedals that can create synthesizer sounds without the need of a MIDI pickup, a hex pickup, you know. And then we looked at things like the GM800, which had just been announced, which is the Boss guitar synthesizer. But there's a few alternatives I didn't talk about that I'd like to address here, and one of them is the MIDI Guitar 2 by Jam Origin. And this is a software-based MIDI alternative. And I actually have it here. You can take a listen to it. Here's something that sounds like a piano. Okay, and the idea here is that basically what I have going on is I'm running my guitar into my audio interface, Motu Audio Express. You can use any audio interface you want to. You plug your guitar into that, and the software, right, is running on your computer, and basically is translating it into MIDI, and then that's how you're getting the sound, which is being output from the Motu, right, to 2 amps basically, right? And please bear with me because I'm still using the trial version, so it interrupts if you play too long. And basically you've got all different kinds of sounds, not just the piano sound. For example, here's the Rhodes sound. Let me turn it down a little bit. Yeah, that's one thing I find kind of annoying, is that every time you change a sound, you've got to set up the amount of gain and drive and things. So, okay. So that's really pretty cool. And we'll go through some other sounds. You know, there's a whole bunch of them, as you would expect. Alright, now here's one. Electric piano. And let's change that. Now keep in mind, this is not playing the actual guitar tone, right? This is actually a synthesizer tone. And the tracking is quite good. Now the sounds it comes with, quite frankly, are kind of generic and basic. And here's one. But I guess it shows that the technology works. Here's one called FM guitar. Okay. Let's find some other sounds. Now here's one called harp. There's a lot of different sounds. Here's one called chunky bass. Yeah. And I mean, there's some other sounds in here. Here's one MDA electric piano. Basically, as I said, they're real basic sounds, and I think, like, let's go back to acoustic piano, which is basically the one they use to test the program with, that you can test the program with. So it does sound like a piano, there's no doubt about it, it's kind of neat. that's a pretty neat program for just being software, you know. But here's what I found. Besides the trial interruption, because I haven't bought a license for it, it is that you can basically upload your own synthesizer, and there are tons of free ones all over the internet, right? And in fact, they even suggest some that you could try. And so I did that, and I loaded up one called the Tyrell 6, I think it is. The Tyrell N6. And it's a synthesizer. And basically you're triggering it from the software using the guitar. And this makes it much more interesting, you know, because now you're getting kind of some interesting sounds. So here you have a huge list of different synthesizer sounds. So here's a harp sound. Well, I'm sorry, but these sounds are so much better than the test sounds that they include with the software. It makes me think they should include some better synthesizers, you know, or else it's a really underwhelming experience, the sounds, the basic sounds that they include. And I guess it's part of the learning process is when you're going through here and learning to upload, you know, synthesizers and accessing their presets and so on. Try that again. Let's try some more presets. There we go. So that's kind of a neat sound, I guess. And there's a whole bunch of them, you know. Here's one. This is kind of an analog, you know, synthesizer. And it's got all kinds of sounds. And you can create your own. Try this one. Now, as far as the tracking goes, it's pretty good. You know, especially for being software based. Now, here's the thing. As far as I've found, just from playing with it, the built-in synthesizers are pretty sad. Not sad, they're just kind of generic, not very good sounding. Whereas I found when you upload a synthesizer, you get a much better sound. And now remember, I'm a beginner at this, so there's all kinds of settings that you can increase, you know, the settings so it tracks better with lower latency and those kinds of things, you know. And also there's effects that you can add to the sounds and those kinds of things. But I was kind of disappointed at the built-in sounds until I uploaded my own synthesizer. You know, and when I say my own, just a free one that they include, really. And the fact that you can include your own synthesizers makes a big difference. Now, there's a couple things. One, the license is $150, right, to get you to actually use the software. Now, what's interesting is that it has a plugin as well that in your DAW, whatever it is, software you're using, you can call it the MIDI guitar too, and it can control any of the virtual instruments via MIDI, right? Or you can have the standalone application, which is what I'm using here, and upload this guitar or virtual instruments, right, and synthesizers and things up into the software. And it does work really well. You heard it there. And there's some interesting sounds, you know. So I see the possibilities of it. You know, is it worth $150? To some people, yeah, putting it into use very much. And here I just have it running out of the audio interface into two amplifiers. And then could be, you could mic those two amps and record it that way. However, if you wanted to use it for looping or those kinds of things, you have a loop pedal. You'd have to run the outputs of the interface into the loop pedal, right? And you would probably have to use a mixer. Overall, I think it's a little more complicated to use than something like an EHX pedal where you just turn it on and it works, right? And it's more like another effect, so it's part of your guitar signal. And that seems to work really well. This is a little more complicated. It very much is like the MIDI guitar idea, right? Where it triggers sounds that aren't part of your guitar signal, and if you want them to be, you kind of have to use a mixer to mix it in. Basically, one, it's a lot of fun too, finding the different sounds and things. I just think that for users, obviously the simplest solution is the EHX pedal, is the simplest solution. This is a little more complicated. However, it's quite a difference between that and the the hex pickup, which is also, I think, a little complicated. However, I have to admit I haven't played the GM800 yet. I'd like to try it. But this is a possibility, and it's very interesting. And I think the more you use it, you would find your sounds that you really enjoy playing, or sounds that you really like, especially if you can bring them in and load them up into the software, I don't know, I'll just pick one. Here's one called Synth Channel 2. Let's hear that one. Yeah. So, I mean, that, is a really cool sound, I think. Now, keep in mind, this is just a free synthesizer that I've uploaded. There are also some paid ones that are really more expansive, you can do much bigger sounds and those kinds of things. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. And that was an option that I didn't even know existed, really. I mean, I think I remember playing with it years ago, And it was weird because it was the same kind of piano sound. They use that to test it. But, yeah, it was really underwhelming until I uploaded, again, my own synthesizers that you can find online. There's tons of them, and they're usually free, with really great sounds. And you can also buy them, And I should mention another thing, is that with the audio interface, with MIDI connections, right, in and out, you can also send your MIDI connections out to control another synthesizer unit. So either a real synthesizer or a little module, it can control those as well. So anyway, I wanted to show you that, and it's another option to consider, and you'll definitely find sounds that you can use, and that you like the way it sounds and plays and things. Because I found some of the presets I didn't like at all, but then when I changed it, then I liked it. So, very interesting technology-wise as well. And for the possibilities, for $150, it's quite a deal in itself, for the sounds that you can make. Alright, so I'm going to be recuperating, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.